for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you again to our witnesses for appearing before this committee. Look, crime is running rampant across our country, so it's imperative that Congress focus on the serious, damaging impact that lawlessness has had on our communities. We must restore order. As we examine the impact crime has had on local economies, we are grateful to Mr. Brian Ingram for joining us today from St. Paul, Minnesota. He is the only business owner on this witness panel who has firsthand experience trying to live and trying to operate a business in a nearly lawless environment. Catastrophic crime rates are not unique to the Twin Cities in Minnesota. It's plaguing communities across the United States, from New York to San Francisco and cities in between. Americans in urban areas face increases in carjackings, theft, burglaries, vandalism, and assault. This has led to a divestment in local economies because safety trumps all other priorities, and many people cannot safely run a business in such dangerous conditions. That divestment hits low-income communities the hardest. So, how did we get here, and why is crime running rampant across the United States? We locked down our citizens for a year, stripped them of in-person activities that help keep people out of a life of crime, school, extracurriculars, community engagement, and mental health resources. Then Democrats championed a nationwide campaign against law enforcement, which has made the police force so politically unpopular that many communities like St. Paul, Minnesota, where Mr. Ingram lives and runs his businesses, don't have enough sworn-in law enforcement officers to protect the community. As we heard from Mr. Ingram, when residents call 911, it's not uncommon to be told no one can help them. Mr. Ingram, can you please share with the committee what changes you've had to make to your business to protect your employees and customers from crime?
Yeah, one of the things we've had to do, of course, is shortening our hours, even bringing in our staff a little later. We have a breakfast restaurant that used to open at 6 a.m., and now we pushed that back to 7 a.m. Just because we wanted to be light out before our staff would come in. Our restaurant's closing at 10 o'clock. We have a pub that would primarily do business late night. That's now closed. Security cameras, alarm systems. We've spent so much on those types of things it doesn't deter anybody. The safety stuff we've done is no deterrence.
Do you have a number that you have spent? How much of these additional measures have cost you?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know that I can even put a number on the sales. We have 2 new restaurants. We're reinvesting. Those restaurants we're planning on not keeping open. That's going to lead into the millions of dollars until something changes in our city.
Lastly, how have other businesses in your community reacted to the violence?
So many of them are gone. And what you're seeing so much is in minority parts of the city, restaurants are closing at a rapid pace. I believe it's 1 in 3 now that are closing down. And typically, those are in areas that are underserved. We're seeing restaurants, we're seeing businesses close day in and day out, and it continues to grow. Right now in Minneapolis, it's a ghost town when you drive through Minneapolis.
And you talk to many of these restaurateurs like yourself, and are they experiencing similar issues?
Yeah, I believe all of us. And I mean, you could own a yarn store across the street from us. We've seen it. They've been robbed. Little mailbox, etc. It's across the board, and there's no business. We thought we were being targeted. We had 7 robberies within a year and thought we were being targeted, and we went out to our neighborhoods. Nope, I got robbed yesterday. No, I got robbed the day before. And nobody seems to want to share that message and talk about it.
Well, thank you for doing it. These catastrophic levels of crime across this country have made people afraid to go to work, to eat out with their families, to park their cars in the street, and simply to just be outside when it's dark. This is no way to live. But let's be very clear. Democrats have normalized this lawlessness and demonized law enforcement. As a result, law enforcement in many of these urban areas like the Twin Cities do not have the resources they need to keep people and their businesses and properties safe. When residents call 911 for help, they are often told no one can come out. Mr. Ingram, thank you for your time today. As Democrats have politicized safety and championed the destructive defund the police movement, Your perspective is invaluable as a business owner doing your best to support your community. I yield back.